Welcome to the Wellington Astronomical Society Night Sky for October 2025. In this video, we're going to talk about moon phases, the Orionids Meteor Shower, have a look at what the planets are doing, and then do our usual night sky stellarium tour. Let's get started. Starting with the moon phases, we have the full moon, which is a supermoon, on the 7th of October, last quarter on the 14th, new moon on the 22nd, and then back to first quarter again on the 29th. So that means around the middle of the month is going to be the best time for doing any dark sky observing. Now, a handy little trick you can do with moon phases is if you wait until the moon is up during the day and you hold up a golf ball or a ping pong ball or something like that in the direction of the moon, then you can see that your ball will be illuminated in exactly the same way that the moon is. So that's a handy little trick if you've got some children that you want to amuse. Anyway, moving on, the Orionids Meteor Shower. So the meteor shower is caused by the Earth moving through a cloud of debris left by the last visit from Halley's Comet, which was all the way back in 1986. So although the meteors appear to originate from within Orion, hence the name, they may actually be seen anywhere across the sky. You may see up to 20 or 30 meteors per hour, and some of them may be quite bright. So they'll appear, of course, as shooting stars from on the ground. And conveniently this month, the appearance of the Orionids corresponds with the new moon, so we'll have a nice dark sky to see them under, assuming that there are no clouds getting in the way. Now let's take a look at what the planets are doing. So in the early morning, we've got Jupiter rising at around 3:30, coming back towards about 2 a.m. at the end of the month. And it's in the same neighborhood as Rigel and Sirius, Aldebaran, Betelgeuse, Procyon, so a bunch of bright stars accompanying Jupiter in the sky in the early morning. Now, Venus is going to be very close to the sun, which means that you probably won't see it. It'll rise just before the sun does. Saturn, however, different story. It's high up in the northeastern sky in the evening, and it's up all night. Of course, it had its opposition just last month. So it'll be setting just before the sun sets. So that's in prime position for viewing at the moment. Now, Mars and Mercury are worth a mention as well because they make a very close approach to each other from our point of view. Low on the western horizon at sunset on the 19th, they get to being within 2 degrees of each other. So for comparison, that's only about 4 full moon widths apart. So we'll take a look at that during our Stellarium tour. And speaking of which, let's go and have a look at our Stellarium tour right now. Well, let's take a look at Mercury and Mars right now. So here we are on the evening of the 18th at 8:30 p.m, just after sunset, and we're looking low on the western horizon. And if we zoom in, we can see Mercury and Mars very close to each other. Now, advancing time until it gets dark, they're both going to set at around 9:30 p.m, which is the start of full darkness. Swinging around until we get to the northeastern part of the sky, we can find Saturn there, and it's in prime position for viewing, as mentioned earlier. Only problem with Saturn is that its best feature, the beautiful ring system, is almost completely on edge at the moment, but you can see all of the moons along its equatorial plane. Now, zooming out from Saturn and turning to the northwestern sky, we can see the arch of the Milky Way stretching over from north to south, and this will continue to move further west and lower as the month progresses, until in the summertime we'll lose it completely. Below the Milky Way, about halfway down to the horizon in the west, we have the bright red giant star Antares. From there, if we swing around to the south, we can find the Southern Cross along with the pointers, now very low on the southwestern horizon. Coming around further to the south and on the other side of the southern meridian, we can see Canopus, which is the second brightest star in the night sky behind Sirius. And above it we have the Large Magellanic Cloud, and then above that the Small Magellanic Cloud, both in excellent position for viewing at the moment. You will need a dark sky to view them under, but we've selected the 19th here, so there's no moonlight in the way. Now let's reset ourselves to looking north and turn on the constellations and see what we've got. The closest constellation to opposition right now is Pisces. Now to find it, first of all, find Saturn, and then if you look kind of to the left of Saturn, you can see this kind of pentagonal shaped asterism representing the head of one of the fish of Pisces. Now, if you continue to use Saturn as a beacon, then you can also find the bright star Fomalhaut. And this will lead you to finding Aquarius, which is right between Saturn and Fomalhaut. Now let's swing around and take another look at the southern constellations. First of all, locate the star Achernar, which is another bright star high in the southern part of the sky. And you can use this as a beacon to find the southern constellations. Here we have Phoenix and here we have Tucana. Now let's swing around to the east and turn all these constellations off and advance our clock to around 3 a.m. You can see the origin point of the Orionids Meteor Shower here. Jupiter is just rising. Among that bright constellation of stars mentioned earlier, we've got Procyon and Sirius and Rigel and Betelgeuse and Aldebaran, all in this bright area of the sky near Orion. And of course, coming around to the north, we have our very popular constellation here in Aotearoa, being Matariki. It's now a rather better time of year to view Matariki than the middle of June. It's up for a lot longer in the sky. Now, if you can find Matariki and you can find Aldebaran, you can see this triangular-shaped asterism here, which represents, that's right, the head of Taurus, the head or forehead of Taurus, one of the larger constellations, Aldebaran being the brightest star in that constellation. Easily spotted even without the virtual constellations turned on because of this triangular asterism very close to Matariki. However, let's go back until 9:30 p.m. again, because as I mentioned before, we have the Milky Way running up here. And what I want to point out is there's one feature within the Milky Way. Let's zoom in on that. And this is the Trifid Nebula. Now, you need a telescope for it, but I just wanted to finish with it as it's a captivating deep sky object. And I picked this one because we have a beautiful recent image of it as a result of about 50 hours of image capturing from our Cretny Observatory that you can see on screen now. And with that, that's our night sky tour for October 2025. Thanks for watching.